Good morning, gang. It's Thursday, the 7th of March, 2019. Welcome along to this morning's rather sunny outside United Kingdom talk, coming to you from Television Centre here in Royal Berkshire, in the little town, in the small, pleasant hamlet known as Bracknell, boys and girls. Welcome along to the show. I had another terrible night's sleep last night. I don't know why this is, and it's when I'm not at work. I remember I think I mentioned about a year ago now that I often had trouble sleeping when I hadn't been to work. Well, I haven't been to work, and therefore I'm having trouble sleeping again. I thought that had sorted itself out. Funny, isn't it? I don't know why. It's not like I don't do anything at night. I have my usual afternoon sleep. Maybe that's going on too far because it's kind of getting to 6 o'clock and I should be getting up at 4. It might be that. I think today I might try and have a little sleep earlier in the afternoon to see if that, and then get up earlier, sort of about 5 or 6 o'clock in the afternoon after my siesta. I should have been Spanish or something like that, I'm sure. You know, I have to have that siesta. About 4 o'clock, like that. I start going like that. Often people say, oh, come out. One afternoon won't hurt. It will, because I will be as miserable as sin if I try and remain awake through my siesta period. I had a nice day yesterday, actually. I meant to do my accounts. My end of tax year is coming up at the end of the month. And I have to get all my accounts and that together. All the paperwork, all the receipts, all the bits of paper that people give me when they pay me wages and rental stuff and mortgage. So much paperwork. And I put it all in a box and I send it to my accountant. Then he puts it in some sort of order. Oh, hang on a minute. What's going on with this collar this morning? He puts it in some sort of order, my accountant, and then sends me a bill for about $1.5 grand. And then goes off on holiday somewhere. Terrible, dear, terrible. So I've got to do that in the next few days. Ash Wednesday yesterday, I went to a lovely mass, my usual church, Corpus Christi in Wokingham. Went to an Ash Wednesday mass, 11 o'clock, which was the school mass. There is actually a school attached to the church, and we can only sit in the back 2 rows, obviously. They kind of sort of, how would you put it, normal people, you know, what would you say? Non-school. Yeah, no, you can't have too many non-school people in there. So they don't really advertise it. He kind of mentioned it in passing on Sunday. I thought, I'll go to that one because it'd be the children singing. And I'm sitting at the back. It was about 10 or 12 non-school people there, all sitting at the back. Lady sat next to me, who I recognised from coming to mass now and again. And it was lovely, and the school starts filing in, and they start at the front and then coming back there. And over in the top right-hand corner is like another little selection of children, about 30 of them, and that's the choir. The choir's there, and I suppose it's one of the teachers, and she's brought a piano in, so they don't have the church organ, they have the piano. And it's so lovely to hear them all singing. You know, you strike up those hymns, and all the little children are singing. The piano, I couldn't quite hear the piano. And I thought that's a shame. They should have had the organ going. I think they should have had the organ. But nevertheless, she played the piano. That was all nice. And it was a different priest. I don't know if it's a special priest that they have for the school, maybe. But he did the thing, and he comes across. It's very different. Comes across as like your friend rather than the person in charge, if you see what I mean. And at the end, it was announced, so it all finished, last hymn went, and then it must have been the head teacher. She stood at the front and said, okay, well, we'll be going straight to lunch this afternoon now, because it was now just gone 12 o'clock. And I said to the lady, what they got for dinner today then? And she said something, I can't remember what it was now, potatoes. She said, no, hang on a minute, what day is it? I said, well, it's Wednesday. She said, that's pizza and chips. I said, pizza and chips? I must have put in a loud voice, because this little girl sitting in front of me, probably about 8 or 9 years old, she looked round. I said, have you got pizza and chips today? And she nodded and smiled. I said, I want pizza and chips. And then I could see the teacher next to her, starting to, his shoulders went like that as he was laughing. I said, I want pizza and chips. And the woman next to me, she says, I wouldn't if I were you. She said, it's actually not that nice. Because I remember having our school dinners. I went to a school in Fulham, the London Orchestral school I went to. Our school dinners were fantastic. They were absolutely fantastic, our school dinners. You could not fault them. We always, and it was 1 o'clock our school time at the London Orchestral. 1 o'clock was dinner time. And, I can't ever complain about the school dinners. We had fish on Fridays and potato, and we always had half a bread roll. Oh, they were and the puddings. And it was all cooked on site, you see. A selection of ladies, they were all ladies actually, would go in. I don't know what time they got into work in the morning, but by 11 o'clock, the whole school was full of this smelling food that was, we just looked forward to lunch all the time. Anyway, so it finished and I got up, and as I went outside, I'm kind of mumbling under my breath in a large voice to amuse people. I want pizza and chips. Why hasn't anyone invited me to school dinner today? Can I please come to pizza and chips? No one invited me, so I had to come back here. And I had some of my camp vile stew, which is a very spicy thing I do in the slow cooker, and it had been on all night. Okay, been on all night, so I got it up. So I got it up, dished it up, and put the rice on there. Wholemeal rice, wholemeal rice. Put that on there, and it's got a slight taste to it where I've put in a little bit too much cumin. Now I've discovered this cumin. It's very, very easy to put in too much. You've got to stick to that thing, and I know how I done it. Because I had a little bottle and I measured out just a teaspoon of cumin. That's enough in a great big thing like that. It's so easy to go over the top. So I've done that, what I've done the night before, put that in. And then I've looked at the bottle and there's only a small piece of, sod it, and I've tipped the bottle up. And not much came out. But it was enough to change the taste of it. So a little bit disappointed with myself. Now, I've done that before with curry. When I'm very unsuccessful at making curries. Very, very they stink. There's something wrong with what I'm doing. They don't smell like that when you go past these wonderful curry houses as you're walking around. If I do I've stopped doing them. I tried 3 times. On 2 occasions, I just chucked it all away eventually. I had one lot. There's a great big slow cooker. So I've had one lot. I thought, I don't like this. I've chucked it all away. So don't bother with that anymore. It must be the cumin. My sister reckons I should just not put cumin in at all and be done with it anymore. So I might try that next time. But on the other hand, you might be supposed to be putting in a little bit just to make it the correct flavour. Do you see what It's so easy. Has anyone else found that? With cumin. Very, very easy to go slightly over the top and completely change the taste of the meal that you're doing. So that was my afternoon yesterday. All right, let me just read some of your messages coming through, rushing in to our Mirable studios this morning. Shall we start this morning with YouTube, and John Parrish. JP is in ours. Good morning, John. Taking a chance, sleeping with your ex. I will never, ever sleep with my ex, my friend. Never. Never in a million years would I get back in that bed with him. Or I assume you're talking about him and not any of the others. Morning to Weird City Citizen. Good morning. Nice opening. Have you not seen that one? Oh, we've had that one for a while. That's the one I use when I'm in Berkshire at the moment. Good morning to Peter Lake. Good morning, Peter. He says, the sun is shining today in Woodall Spa. A bit windy. My daffodils are up and my snowdrops are good as well. Yeah, I've got snowdrops. Not many still. We're very late on the daffodils down here this year. I must say, very, very strange and mysterious. That's what it is. Strange and mysterious. The tune that I play must be the da-da-da-da-da-da-da. That one gives Weird City Citizen the goosebumps when he hears it. Does it? Does it? You, Weird City Citizen, now, I think you're a similar age to me. Probably a little bit younger. I have discovered something fantastic on YouTube, which I'll come to in a minute. When I've come out of these messages, I'll tell you about that. Okay, good morning to Claire. Good morning, Claire, who likes the roses and the navy jacket. Thank you, Claire. The button don't go all the way up, as you can see. That is the last button there, and then there's a top one. Is it better with the top one done up, do you think? What do you reckon? Oh, actually, it is, isn't it? That's actually better, isn't it? Better with the top one done up. I usually have the top one undone. Yes, there we are. Just a minute now. Let me just see. Paul and Lou. Oh, congratulations for making it on time today. Blimey. We've only been going 15 minutes and you're there already. Congratulations on paying full attention to what's been going on, dear. That's good. It's very, very good indeed. Very good. Claire says, did you go to that school because you wanted to be an orator, or was it the other way round? The school made you want to do it. No. No, Claire. That's the one we chose. That's the one we chose. There was a selection of schools I could have gone to. Some of the other boys went to Salesian College. That was a posh one. And there was Wandsworth School, which is closed now, I think. There was quite a few secondary schools in the area. London Orchestral is the one that we wanted to go to. So there we are. John, how's... I meant with his bad... what... Just a minute now. I think you're asking, how's Ronnie's chest? Not good. Not good. I'm afraid he's got to go back to the doctor this morning. I think 11:45, 12:15 sort of time, and take advice from there. But he was wondering last night whether he was going to have to go back to the clinic or not. This chest infection seems to have come back after. I think he's got a superbug. I think my mate's got one of those resistant superbugs. Which is a bit of a worry, really. I was watching a programme with Angela Rippon the other day about antibiotics and how they work. It was very, very interesting to see how it works. A lot of the problems caused by antibiotics is the overuse, of course, and people that don't take the course. They don't take the course. So they leave a little bit of antibiotics still alive in them. They think you do get better. As you kill off the bad bugs, you will feel better, but you haven't killed them all off. And if you leave some in there, they can what's the word now? Change. They can change their form to beat that first line of antibiotics. You see, and then they carry on. So then you get ill again as they remultiply. So you take more people are given more antibiotics. They take those as a second line of defense, and then they make the same mistake. They stop taking the antibiotics because they feel better. They don't complete the course. Then that lot of little germs, they multiply again and they get past the second. Well, you can only do this so many times. You see, you can only do that so many times, and then you get to the end. There are no more antibiotics to fight it. And I think this is I'm not talking about my mate here. People in general, a lot of people don't finish these pills. And you must, because you've got to kill everything in there. Otherwise, it starts again. You only get so many chances with this stuff. It's like this little thing that I've got. You know, there's a lot of drugs that I can take. I'm on a certain regime. If you see what I mean, I have to take pills at 10 and 10 or thereabouts. You know, I think you've got about an hour either side of that you can do. And that's it. Now, if I keep forgetting to take them, then they eventually stop working and you have to move to another lot, okay? You must do exactly as the doctor says. So you take them on the time. If you forget that lot again, right, if you keep forgetting that lot, you get a few chances. You can now and again forget them, now and again. But if you keep doing it, they just stop working. Right, the thing inside you realises, oh, I can get over this now. And once it's got over it, that's it. They're useless then. They're useless. So yeah, then you move on to the next bit. And eventually you get to the end. And there's nothing left to fight it with. And that's what's going on with the antibiotics. But at the moment, I think he's got a superbug. I do. I think he's got some sort of superbug that they're having terrible trouble dealing with. But he'll go back to the doctors this afternoon and possibly to the clinic as well later on. We're not quite sure yet. Good morning to Pat McGroin. A warm welcome along to Pat McGroin there. Claire is wishing Ronnie, hope he gets better soon. I have a bad throat since Christmas. I remember. Yes, I thought I hadn't seen you for a while, Claire. You've still got that bad throat. Bad throats can go on for ages, my darling. Absolutely ages. Yeah. A few years ago, I had this, what I thought was a lump in my throat, and I had a camera up the nose, which is not a pleasant experience, Claire. I don't know if you've ever had that. They may well say that to you. All I could say to you, it's uncomfortable, it's not painful, and it is all over and done with in a couple of minutes. Once that camera's up there, they're at about 30 seconds, if that, maximum. And then they pull it out again. And then breathe easy. Not nice. camera up the nose, but sometimes necessary. I've had it 3 times. 3 times camera up the nose. Yeah, but 20 seconds and it's all over. Once they got that camera in, it's all over. The whole procedure, 3 minutes. About 3 minutes. So literally, close your eyes and start counting. All right. Weird Citizen, how's Ronnie's cat doing? Not bad at all. Not bad at all. It's running around. It's a miserable thing. If it don't like something, it tells you. Starts hissing like that. Good morning to Mark Jones. Good morning, Mark. First message of the day in on Facebook. Morning, Mark. Michael Poman's there in Australia. Morning, sir. Michael Lawrence. Hello, Michael. Ray Reynolds. Hello, Honky Tonks Ray. All right. Craig McKenzie. Good morning, Craig. He says, I'll get the first one day. Craig, you've got to be faster than that. Craig is a little bit upset. He's got this hamster, and all it does is run around on this wheel. Round and round and round. And Craig put a post up this morning saying, how many miles does a hamster do in a day? I told him to attach a generator to it. I mean, I can see the world powered by hamsters on wheels at some point. Maybe they could genetically modify hamsters so that they're really big. And then they can go on bigger wheels, can't they? And create even more electricity for us all. Good idea, I think. Mark Cording, good morning, Mark. Did anyone watch the Michael Jackson documentary yesterday? No, I didn't. I was disappointed. I wanted to watch that. Yesterday. Haven't watched it. However, I've discovered, which I didn't know about, there is a 4/7 channel. So, and that is channel 4 7 days ago. So I've now set my hard disk recorder to record that next week. So I'll see it next week. Good morning to Abdulazak. Very good morning again to you, sir. You're becoming a regular viewer. You are, aren't you? Welcome to the show, sir. Dr. SOS Gregorians there. Hello. Roy Brownlow. Good morning. I like that song, I'm Only Cumin. And it's with a C, not a K. Come on, Roy. It's a C, cumin. C. Horrible taste. Oh, too much of it, mate. John Aitken, good morning. Hasn't been on here for months. I noticed that, John. I did notice that. Don't think your little light has not been illuminated here in the studio. I do keep a note. Michael says, is Ronnie okay? So I've answered that question there. No, he's not. John was on 4 different antibiotics in the last few months for an infection in my leg, which was a bit of a nightmare. And they upset your stomach as well sometimes, antibiotics, don't they? Unfortunately. Peter, when am I back in the caravan? April. It's closed at the moment. Good morning to Maureen joining us this morning by text message. Morning, Maureen. And Peter also says, I like your shirt and jacket and I like your new background. Thank you, Peter. Yeah, it's been up a couple of days now. This is my spring background. Is that new duck on your case? Yes, it is. That's not new. I've got a little selection of things there, Roy, that I like to change around, for my own amusement and yours as well. Whenever I change something, someone always notices. It's funny, actually. Someone always notices if there's something different here in the studio. Now, I mentioned a YouTube thing that I discovered last night, much to my great happiness, to be honest. Of course, I was a DJ throughout the 80s, 90s, and the 2000s. I did about 30, let me think. When I said 16, 26, 36, 46, 56, 55... So I did about 39 years as a DJ with my kind of big bit. How would you explain that? My most successful was in the 90s when I did all these big clubs and things like that in London and the South East. And I had a fantastic time, an absolutely fantastic time being a DJ. But the tunes, I think in the 90s, you think to yourself, oh, well, they won't be remembered by this, like the 60s and the 70s. Well, how wrong could I be? Over on YouTube last night, I discovered 2 things. The Radio 1, which I never knew existed, a Radio 1 Ibiza concert, which was held in the Royal Albert Hall, okay? And something else, a Belfast Orchestra. Oh, let me see if I can find it. I should have written that down for you. Just a minute. It's some orchestra in Belfast. Anyway, there was a club, a chain of clubs. Now, I didn't work at these clubs. They were straight clubs. In the 90s, you had straight clubs, and you had gay clubs, and there wasn't much of a crossover in between. All the gay boys went there, all the straight boys went there, all the gay girls went there, all the straight girls went there. There wasn't really much of a crossover, okay? And just a minute. Now let me see if I can find this now. There it is. Right, let's see if I can find the name of the orchestra. There it is. Right. Let's just, so I can do that there. If I can find the name of the orchestra. There is that'll tell me about it. Good, I can tell you about it now. So this Lush Club, there was like a chain of clubs called Lush. Small places, big places, all over the country. And I suppose mainly, again, as I say, in the 90s, and they went into the 2000s as well, and they played a specific type of music. Now, I don't know what music they played, okay? Because I was playing, at that time, in only gay clubs, right? And I discovered on YouTube, sometimes I type in names of songs that I know, and I'll add the word live, because to find a live version of a song you've always liked is usually a great experience. I do it a lot with Barry Manilow, sort of Even Now live, Copacabana live. And there, rather than the studio recording, you get to hear him as he's been on the stage. So the other night, I typed in Such a Good Feeling live. Now, Such a Good Feeling was probably one of my favourite songs in the early 90s. It was by a group called Brothers in Rhythm. There's a lot of drums in there, a lot of piano, not too many vocals in it, but it's a great dance tune, fantastic dance tune. And that is the sort of music I used to play in the 90s. Now, I didn't know what they were playing in the straight clubs, but I discovered this and I bought it up, and it says Such a Good Feeling, Lush Classical Belfast. That's what I found on YouTube. So do it yourself a little bit later on. Type in Such a Good Feeling live, and it'll come up Lush Classical Belfast, and just play it. And it is fantastic to hear a house tune that you used to play, played live by a massive orchestra on the stage and singers. Now, this Lush Classical concert is something in Belfast that they started in 2016, apparently. I never knew about this. And they take house records that were popular in that time, they orchestrate them, they hire out, I think it's the SSE Centre, like a big, like the O2 in London, the SSE place in Belfast. They open the doors and it's full up. It's absolutely packed with people dancing of my age. And they're not holding back. They're the old arms in the air. This is how we used to dance. We used to dance in the gay clubs. We used to dance. We had our arms in the air, dancing all night. Bang, bang, bang. Sometimes tops off as well. We just knew how to have a good time. Well, according to these videos I've discovered, it was exactly the same music they were playing in the straight clubs. Well, I never knew that. I could have played in Lush or somewhere like that. So type that in. A couple of people have put up the whole concert, but unfortunately, they've done that with just like a phone. You know, they've perched it somewhere without actually having the sound coming straight into the video, so it doesn't sound as good. But whoever's put that up, it's been done with professional cameras, and the sound is obviously going into some sort of piece of equipment, and it sounds fantastic. The particular the write-up on this video, it says Saturday the 7th of October 2016 saw 75 professional classical musicians take to the SSE Arena stage in Belfast alongside world-renowned DJs Paul Oakenfold, Seb Fontaine and Dave Seaman. accompanied by a chorus of live vocalists produced by Kylie Minogue's musical director Steve Anderson, and over 9,000 revelers dancing to the soundtrack of their lives for Lush 21, which is 21 years of dance music classics performed by the Ulster Orchestra. And you've got to watch that. It is just amazing. And of course, when you're listening to the studio versions of these tracks when they were made out, the strings would all be played on a keyboard. Okay. Which sounds good. But then you see an orchestra playing it, and they're playing the string section with actual string instruments. Amazing. So I discovered that last night. And then, alongside that, came up the Radio 1 Ibiza concerts that they hold in the Royal Albert Hall. Exactly the same thing. Songs by Chicane, Such a Good Feeling Again, and all sorts of stuff. Did I write anything else down? And there's also a Lush. If you type in Lush 2016 highlights, you'll get a selection of the songs that they've all put together. So there must be the whole concert in good quality is not up there. So presumably that's available to buy on a DVD, and I may well look for that. So do look that up. If you went raving in the 90s, as I did, okay, you'd want to see that. You'd absolutely want to see that. Type in Lush 2016, Such a Good Feeling. That'll get you to that particular song, and then you should see some of the other songs come up, underneath it as suggestions. Fantastic. All right. Let's just go back a little bit there, my darlings. Claire, I've had a camera up the nose. It's a hideous experience, but it was quick. Yeah, they are very quick, the camera up the nose jobs. Fortunately. It's not pleasant, is it? Hello to Katie Ann Patterson joining us today. Hello, Katie. John, I downloaded the Pete Tong album with the orchestra. Oh, yes. I'll be able to buy it, won't I, off the Spotify, I suppose. I bet it's on Spotify. I downloaded the Pete Tong album with the orchestra. Really good, happy memories of the 1990s. Well, it is. You go in a club now, they're just obsessed with taking photos of themselves. People are absolutely obsessed with simply going out all night long, just dancing, just a bit like that with a glass, with a drink in their hand like that, and that's all they do. No one seems to be having a particularly good time. And as a DJ, again, in the 90s, I could pay my whole night and no one would come up and bother me. They'd simply be happy to dance in front of you. Now, just before I gave up, this started around 2003, 2004. You'd play half a minute of a song and someone would come up, oh, can you tell us what's on next? Well, I haven't chosen yet. Oh, well, don't you know? No. Well, don't you like this one? Well, yeah, but we're bored of this one now. What's on next? Weird. And it just took out all the fun out of it. I think that's when I probably fell out of DJing, love with DJing when I was, I would say 2006, really. I hung on for a long time after that, because it was a job as well, remember. I hung on a long time after that. And, of course, I discovered the karaoke. So that's what I love doing now, my karaoke. John watched that one. Such a good feeling. Fantastic, wasn't it? Did you hear the string section, John? Amazing. Paul and Lou know that tune well. Yes, hugely popular tune that was. Angie Brown went to Ibiza last year to do it. Brilliant, says John. Yes, I'm going to get you, baby. I'm going to get you. I met her a couple of years ago. She is lovely. She's small, and she actually did the song. It was at someone's birthday. It was at Kelly Wilde's birthday party, and she had all these singers come along with her. Rosala was going to come. I don't think she could make it. But Angie Brown came along and I met her. I got a bit starstruck. I said, oh my God, it's Angie Brown. Angie Brown. Look, it's Angie Brown, everyone. Angie Brown. And she come up onto the stage, give me her backing track, and I put it on. And she just erupted. She was a fantastic person to work with, singing her heart out and bubbly personality. Wonderful, bubbly personality. We like people like that. We don't like boring people. I'm sorry, we don't like boring people. She was wonderful to work with. Paul and Lou, Hacienda Classical. Hacienda, is that how you write that? Okay. Is well worth searching for, Chris. I've been to a couple of them. They are fantastic. It's all dance track classics. Okay, Let me write that down. Hacienda. Is that how you say it? Hacienda. Hacienda Classical. Yeah. Okay, I've got that one up there. I'll look that up later. I love it when they classicify, is that how you'd say it? When they classify house music. It sounds absolutely fantastic when they do that. And if you listen to Scala Radio, that's the new classical station, they do stuff like that on there. They were playing... oh, God, what was it now? Da, 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 da. Oh, they were playing something. They keep playing it actually, and instead of being a house track, someone's done it with four strings or four violins, something like that. Can't remember the name of the damn tune now. 4 strings, 4 violins, would it be? And they've classified a house tune, and they keep playing it, and it's really good. I love it when they do. I never thought it was possible to actually do that. But some people are realising now how popular it is, I think. Hacienda Classical, so I'll have a look. There was one at the Albert Hall last year. I've got to go to one of those. I think I want to go to the Belfast one. It's in October. They happen in October. I don't know if it's a one-off or they do like 3 nights of the same thing. So I'll have to look that up. Not Over Yet by Grace. That's one of mine, John, as you well know. You used to come to my nights, didn't you? The young of today don't know what they're missing. They don't. But isn't that what your mum and dad told you? When you were going out in the 90s to raves and your mum and dad heard the music, didn't they say to you, you don't know what you're missing from not being in the 60s? Huh? I wonder. 12th of October, Bleeper Lush Live. There you go. Belper Lush Live. Fantastic. Belfast. Yes. Thank you very much for that. So do have a little look at that, all right? Good morning to Martin Edwards joining us this morning. Morning, Martin. Welcome to our little show here. Good. What else have I got? Holby City. I watched that last night. They did kind of a link up with Casualty this week. And all the computer systems in the hospital went down. Was very, very good, actually. Well done to Holby City and Casualty for that. Must congratulate one of my niece's children. My niece has now moved to Cyprus. They started school on Tuesday. And yesterday, she won an award. She won, what is it now? Superhero of the Day. I think it was something to do with her English spelling or something like that. So when they win, this is the school in Cyprus that she's now attending. When they win Superhero of the Day, she then has to wear like a green cape and a mask because she is now a superhero. Congratulations to Emily. Congratulations to Emily. I can just imagine my great nephew now sort of going around saying, why haven't I won this? He will have his turn. I think probably primary schools give all the children the chance or the turn to win something, whether or not they're particularly good or something. And that's good. You know, all the children need to win something, don't they? Paul and Lou, I was in a busy pub for Lou's birthday last year, and there was a millennial DJ. Oh, yeah, a millennial DJ! Oh, what are they like? I asked him for a request. He says, oh, I don't do requests. I'm playing an album. An album? An album? When on earth did anyone play albums in clubs? God! Roy! Hello, Roy Brownlow. Where Love Lives, Alison Limerick. That's a great one. That wasn't the one. That wasn't the one I meant by the 4 violins. But yes, I heard that one as well, Roy. It was fantastic. Dun, 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 dun. I actually made a list. I'm now thinking... I'm wondering if it would be possible down at Central Station, because it don't really want to work anywhere else, whether they'd want to try a sort of 90s after the karaoke or something like that. Might be interesting to do that. Morning to Cordy. We'll book day why they are dressing up. Try that again, Cordy. That's not making sense, darling. Can you write that again, my love? Check your spelling there. What you've written, wild book day while they are dressing up. What is a wild book day? Or maybe that is something. Is it, Cordy? Am I wrong there, darling? Just double check that for me, my love. Good. I've done that. What have I done now? We're not going to our stories already. Oh, Auntie Brenda, still not well yet. Fortunately, her son's popping round to her head. Auntie Brenda, she's got a badge. Lot of illness. lots of illness around at the moment in my life. Not me, fortunately. Touch wood, not yet. But Auntie Brenda, she's got a really bad chest at the moment. More of a cold. She's very phlegmy on the chest. She's been put on the antibiotics. Her son's going around there every night at the moment to cook her dinner because she's so weak. Ronnie, of course, with his chest. My nephew, Gary, he's just had an operation on his nose. He couldn't breathe through one nostril, right? So he had this operation. And, of course, then he posts the picture of his blood all over his face when he's come round from the operation. It took him a long time to wake up from the anaesthetic. Don't know why that would be, but longer than usual. Nevertheless, so yesterday, his nose starts bleeding and the packing has come out of his nose. So he's had to go back up to the hospital to have that sorted. I haven't spoken to him yet this morning. And there was two other people who are not well at the moment. I can't remember who the other two are now. How stupid. I was thinking about this while I was laying in bed last night, unable to sleep, of all the people around me that are going down with various things left. I've never known so many people so ill. The chest thing seems to be getting a lot of people down at the moment. I wonder if that's anything to do with the flu, because I have the flu injection every year. I know some people don't. Some people are, it's got mercury in it and all this, that and the other. But I do have the flu injection every year. John, is the tin shop still open? Yes. Yes, it is. Feel free to go at any time, John. Great savings to be made there, my friend. World Book Day. Thank you, Cordy. World Book Day. Why they are dressing up. Is that right? Oh, okay. World Book Day. Oh, I don't know what that is. Are we all supposed to read books? I'd love to read books. I don't seem to have the patience to read books. I started a couple of years ago. I think I read a couple of books. Then I stopped again. I don't know. I don't seem to have the patience to read books. Don't know why that is. John's going to read Charlie and the Chocolate Factory. Yes. Original version. The films are good as well, aren't they? I found the second film very dark to me. Very dark film. The excitement here. Oh, Tony Blackburn's in Dubai. A piece of random information for you there. Tony Blackburn is the king of all DJing. Tony Blackburn. And I noticed I follow him on Instagram. I'm on Instagram as well, by the way. Chris Reardon UK is my Instagram thing on there. And I follow Tony Blackburn on there, and he always does little talking videos, little minute-long videos, just the same as I do, actually. And he's in Dubai at the moment on a holiday, and he's got a picture of him on a camel. And then holding a bird, one of those birds of prey on his arm, and his wife as well. And standing next to the tallest building. Dubai is somewhere that's never, ever appealed to me. It seems a bit fake, building out, it's all very clever, building out into the ocean and all that business. And they've got that, like the palm island with all the bits coming out. But I don't know. I mean, it's never really appealed to me. There is a particular building in Dubai that does kind of take my eye a bit. It's a great big a water a water god or something like that. What's his name? I think it's a water god. They've named this thing, not Napoleon. What was that water, either god or something that lived under the water? What was his name? Do you remember? Some big water place in Dubai. I think that's been built out into the sea. Can't think. Does anyone know what that's called? Was written about in books and everything. This particular water god. See if anyone reads that. Cordy says it's good to get kids into real books. It is. Atlantis. Thank you, JP. Atlantis. That's the one. Atlantis. No, not Neptune, John. I know that's Atlantis. I'm pretty sure that's Atlantis. Martin Edwards, Nemo. Have a look. Dubai. John's probably already looked it up. Let's just type in Dubai Atlantis. Oops. Dubai Atlantis. Images, if it's that. Yeah, that's the one. Thank you, John. Atlantis. Now, that looks good. I gotta be honest, that looks good. But apart from that, I mean, would you stay the whole 7 days in there? What would you do? You'd go back into your room, get out, and go around the pool. That looks good. I like the way the arch is in the middle of it. John was on Our Burj. That's the one in the sea. Oh, is it? Okay. There's lots of different hotels and that in Dubai. But it's a place really that's never really appealed to me, Dubai. I don't know about you, but my mate loves it. Him and his other half, I think they've been there twice now. They do the whole 5-star experience. I don't do 5-star. They do the whole 5-star experience. Lovely hotels and all that business. Oh, beautiful places. All marble baths, you know. Why you'd want to spend an extra 200 quid a month, a week, just to have a marble bath? It's beyond me. I'm quite happy with a shower. You know, a reasonably clean shower with no cockroaches. Roy opened a shop over there in Dubai, and my mate said, Dubai? I said, yes, and I sell. 7-star hotel, gosh. Is it really? A millionaire's playground, Dubai. Got to say hello to Simon Keane. Simon's... it's nice Simon started sending his little messages through again. He watches a recording of the show later on. And he said, food is so expensive, Mr. Chop Chop. I went into Waitrose with a trolley full of money and came out with a wallet full of food. Well, that's Waitrose for you, my friend. It is slightly more expensive in there, but you get the service. You see, you get fantastic service in Waitrose. You really do. Hello to Uti. Good morning to Uti. Welcome to our show, Uti. All right. Much excitement around here the last couple of days. We've had a new bit of road. Well, I say a new bit of road. Okay. The road in front of my garage. I'm a garage in a block. There's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. There's 10 garages there. And the bit of road in between has started crumbling. And they've some blokes come along a few times now, you know, with a bag of this black stone oily stuff, shoved it in the little cracks that have appeared and banged it down with this thing. Well, of course, that's bloody useless. 2 weeks later, it's come back out again. So they've had men over there with that machine, that round metal thing, cutting into the road and actually removing a section, okay? The whole thing, and then another thing comes along, and then they got the black tar stuff and put that in, and then a roller going up and down it like that. And that's done the job beautiful. So much, that's the excitement down my road this week. A new piece of road. Of course, I tell my mate this the other night. He's come round, and whenever he finds out I've got a new bit of road that I'm proud of, he comes along, stops his car on it, and then does this with the steering wheel, trying to make dents in our new piece of road. Vile piece of trash he is sometimes. He really is. That road must be kept nice. I want to fence it off. It's lovely and black and lush. No dirt over it. No dirty, disgusting cigarette ends being put out of there. No dog poo on it. Perfect, beautiful, but my favourite colour, black. Perfectly black colour road. Unspoilt and touched by human hands. Yes. That's the excitement round here. John, I've got a £30 voucher for Waitrose. It might get me a meal for 2. Pfft, more likely 1. More likely 1, mate. Oh, dear. Right, let's do a couple of stories today. What have we got here? Kettles. Now, in the Daily Mail this morning, I don't know what planet they're on and how much they think people have got to spend on kettles. I don't know about you. When I buy a kettle, it's generally $9.99. And yes, they do last. I can have a £10 kettle for years before they go. Well, in the Daily Mail this morning, it says a story written by Rachel Halliwell. I don't know what planet this woman's on, right? She says, of all the small appliances on my kitchen counter, the electric kettle is surely the one I use the most. Me too. I love a cup of tea. Across Britain, we drink 165 million cups of tea a day, this says in the Daily Mail. That's enough boiling water to fill 20 Olympic swimming pools before we've even started making coffee or cooking. So having a kettle that gets the job done quickly is pretty important. And increasingly, manufacturers are promoting their products as super speedy to boil. Now, I've got to tell you, my kettle downstairs, perfectly all right. Don't take long to make a cup of tea. Few minutes, that's it. Lovely. I've also got a travel kettle. And I've noticed when I take that to America, it can take 20 minutes or more to boil. Oh, it's so annoying. Literally, I fill up the kettle, put it on, and then go and brush my teeth, have a shower, and usually by the time I've come back out, it might be boiling. Terrible. And of course, I think that's due to the differences in electricity voltage. Whereas, of course, here, it's 220 volts. In the US, it's only 110. So they do take a lot longer to boil, and it's annoying. But nevertheless, we carry on with this. It says, Rachel pits 7 models, each filled with a litre of water, enough for 4 cups of tea, against each other. 2 of the 7 also boast they can make a single cup of tea in less than a minute. So, here we go. First of all, she's talking about the Linsar, Linsar, 1.7 litre jug kettle, $34.99 from euronics.co.uk. Looks all right. But $34.99, I thought, well, they've obviously started with the expensive one. Oh, no. Oh, no. Then there's the Lakeland Blue Glow mirrored kettle. Looks very nice. All covered in, like, shiny metal around the outside. From lakeland.co.uk. $49.99 for a kettle, dear. $49. Would you pay $49.99 for a kettle? Mind you, my mate paid over £100 for his kettle. £100 for a kettle. Audi and Argos do them for $9.99. Why would you pay 50 quid for a kettle from Lakeland? It goes on. There's the Swan Nordic kettle, 1.7 litre jug kettle, £49 from jdwilliams.co.uk. There's the High-Tech Hero, another one from lakeland.co.uk, £99.99. Not enough? John Lewis will happily sell you one. A Dualit, D-U-A-L-I-T, Domus kettle, 1.5 litres, £100 from John Lewis. It gets worse. It gets worse. A KitchenAid Artisan, 1.5 litre kettle, £149 from Lakeland. So what have you spent on a kettle? Have you got one of those expensive kettles, or, like me, are you a little bit tight with the money? Have you got one of those kettles that are £10 from Argos or Audi or Asda? They all do them. They all do them. A kettle for £10 is just as good. I'm telling you now, I always have them. I think I had one slightly more expensive one once, which was like a fish bowl. It was just like a fish bowl, this kettle. And that was the one, I think that was about 30 quid. And that was the one that has lasted least long out of all the kettles I've ever had. I never spend more than £10 on a kettle. Never. John says travel kettles are horrible. Everything tastes like plastic. Yes, I noticed that as well, John. They do. They do. Plastic kettles. Weird City Citizen likes a nice kettle. He's got a mid-range Russell Hobbs for 30 quid. That's still 3 times more than I pay, mate. Anyone got a really expensive kettle out there? Let us know, gang. John bought one in Gran Canaria for €20, so I suppose it's about 18 quid, isn't it? Something like that, I suppose. John says the people of Dubai don't like the Flintstones, but the people of Abu Dhabi do. Abu Dhabi do! John goes to the basics section. Well, you are very basic now, aren't you, John? You're a very basic person. Paul and Lou have got a kettle that they cost £20. That seems a reasonable. I'd go up to £20. I would go up to £20. Anyone else? How much have you paid for your kettles, boys and girls? I just don't see the need in spending vast sums of money on stuff. Even like my I think my fridge is like a John Lewis fridge, just branded John Lewis on there. It's not like Bosch or anything like that. Although, stuff like Bosch and that, you would expect years and years of wear out of something like a Bosch, wouldn't you? I think my washing machine, I think that's an Indesit. That was less than 200 quid. I've got a dishwasher as well. That's an Indesit. That's all right. Lovely. I talk to my dishwasher. Does anyone else do that? I press the button and it goes beep, beep, beep. and a light comes on indicating it's ready. And then I say, in a loud voice, fire the system. And I push the other button and it goes like that. And it bursts into action. Does anyone else talk to their appliances? Do you talk to your appliances at home? I'm sure you do. Don't lie to me. You do, don't you? John's partner works at M&S, so he gets a discount, you lucky thing. Oh, they do lovely food in there, don't they, M&S, I must say. JP, basic but rich. That's how we like to be, John. You don't get rich by spending it, do you? Right, let's do one more story then. I mentioned right at the beginning of the show, people who go out now and their entire night is spent taking pictures of themselves. And it's the same when they go on holiday. You would expect, 1 or 2 pictures of the person on holiday to see a picture of them, wouldn't you? You would expect that. But every single picture they take, they've got to be standing in front of whatever it is. A Mount Everest, the Taj Mahal, Empire State Building, Big Ben, the waterways of Venice. They're in every bloody picture. There was a time when we used to go on holiday and take pictures of things or stuff or scenery. Now, a lot of people, every single picture, they've got to be in every single picture. Have you noticed that? Well, help is at hand, boys and girls. Those wonderful people at Artificial Intelligence are working on this. Again, in the Daily Mail this morning, a new camera app for iPhone lets you erase annoying tourists, cars, or other objects that block your perfect shot. When I say block your perfect shot, I could include people in this. You can include people in this, the actual people in the photographs. Spectre is the name of the app. Uses artificial intelligence technology to stabilize long exposure photos, focusing on the stationary part of a frame, erasing moving parts, including people or objects. Oh, so they've got to be moving, have they? Oh, how disappointing. I haven't read that right. Near perfect holiday snaps of beautiful views cluttered with people, including the selfie people, appear as if you have beaten the crowds and arrived to enjoy scenic vistas all to yourself. The company behind the software says its new app can generate such magic photos by using artificial intelligence in several ways. So, sometimes you're taking a picture, not so much now, actually. Because now, what happens now is we all tend to take several photographs of the same thing so then we can compare, oh, that's the best one, and then just delete the other ones. Years ago, of course, when we had films in cameras, you would spend some time getting that, right, okay, no, just a little bit round there, and that's it. Maybe that, and that's it there. Okay, right, and you could be sort of fairly guaranteed that shot, that picture you've taken, would be quite good because you've taken the time and effort to line it up in that little screen of yours. Now, out comes the camera. Oh, the annoying ones are the video cameras. When someone is videoing something on a phone, and they're like this, and then you try and watch it, and quite frankly, it makes me feel sick. They can't. My niece did it. My niece was showing me her house the other day, and as they're going up the stairs, bang, 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 bang. No attempt at all to hold the camera still. There was one of the programs I was watching, the new programs, Northern Emergency or Northern Rescue, something like that. And there was a scene in the house. Where they're sitting there, but the camera isn't straight, isn't still. So they're having a conversation on this until, and the camera's a bit like this. Okay, it's not like this, like most people are when they're taking bloody videos all the time. But it was a bit like this. I said to my mate, I said, for Christ's sake, hold the camera still. But they don't. It's like this. Now, I don't know if they're trying to create some sort of effect like that. I just find the whole thing bloody annoying. Just like that. Why can't you just hold it straight like that? One of the most annoying films I ever saw at the cinema. It was a horror film. Can't remember the name of the film. But right at the very end, you saw the monster that was in like this office block. And I went into the cinema to watch this film. You might remember the name of it. If I tell you what was going on in it. Went in to see this film, and it started, and it was like someone had a home movie camera, and it wasn't still. It was like this all the time. Cloverfield. That's it, Cloverfield. Anyone seen that? Cloverfield. And I thought, oh, okay, well, it's the beginning of the film. You know, they're probably... It's like an effect where they're doing this and pretending to... Well, no! The entire film was like that. Just the camera shaking around all the time. I couldn't watch it in the end. Was doing my head in. They think they're being clever, but I don't know why they do that. Keep the damn camera still. We can't watch the film. So when you're taking little cameras and films of each other, hold the camera still, because otherwise no one wants to watch it. You see these people at concerts, makes me die. I mean, instead of watching the concert, all these little screamy little girls at Justin Bieber concerts and things like that, there they are. They watch the entire concert through their phones. They're standing inches away from that delicious-looking boy, Justin Bieber, with his tattoos and muscles. Inches away. And yet, they're watching the entire thing through their little screen like that. And then they start jumping up and down. Surely you can't look back at that and think it looks good. Good morning to Right Side Up. You're a bit late, aren't you? Oh, look. He likes my orchids there. Which one do you like? The blue one? The blue one's from Ray Reynolds. And the pink one there is from our lovely Maureen, who's with us every morning. Weird City, Cloverfield Lane. The sequel is amazing. John Goldman, and nothing like the original. Okay. Does that shake, though, Weird City? Does that one shake as well? It just does my head in when people don't hold cameras still. Claire. My partner bought our kettle, some stupid thing with different temperature settings. He had to give me instruction session on how to use it. I know the one. It's got a little number on the side telling you how hot the water is. What's the point of that? You can't make tea with anything other than boiling water, can you? All right. Let's do today's birthdays, boys and girls. A very good morning to, on this, the 7th of March, 2019. Only 4 birthdays today. Emma Hegarty. It says you're 108 years old, Emma. I know you're not 108 years old. Happy birthday to Emma Hegarty. Happy birthday today to Simon Good. Good morning, Simon. Happy birthday. Jaden Cornelius. Good morning, Jaden, who's a singing superstar. Good morning, Jaden. Happy birthday to you. And Darren Cavill is 48 years old today. Happy birthday, gang. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday. Happy birthday. Happy birthday to you. That's it for the show on this Thursday morning. Thanks very much for joining us. Weird City Citizen just came in at the end there and says there was no shaking on the Cloverfield sequel, Cloverfield Lane. So I might look that up and see if I can find that somewhere. Well, it's a lovely sunny day. I'm going to have a little walk down to Aldi now. I've got a few bits and pieces to buy in Aldi. Oh, it's Thursday, isn't it? They usually have new things in there on Thursday. Strange things that you wouldn't expect in the supermarket. Thursday and Sunday are good days. Oh, on Sunday this week, they've got new pet doormats. There's a cat. I know there's a cat. There might be a dog as well. They've got new pet doormats. You know, like the really rough things that you put outside your house. They've got new pet doormats coming in on Sunday. So it might be worth, if you've got a pet and you fancy, I quite like a cat doormat. In the shape, not just a picture, the shape of a cat. So they're in Aldi on Sunday this week, all right? Thanks so much for joining us, gang. Enjoy your Thursday, and I'll see you again, hopefully at some time tomorrow. Cheerio now.